All right, so we're here tonight going to be loading our crosslays. So we start with the female end of the coupling, and on engine 1's truck, we throw the female end over about 2 feet from the end of the tray and put about 2 feet out the edge because that's where our connection is at the top. On engine 2, we will put it, our trays have a hole or an opening on the bottom, and we'll just lay a little bit out on the bottom. So different trucks have a little bit of a different connection. So engine 2's connects at the bottom, engine 1's connects at the top. So that's why we do it differently in those trucks. So to load the first 100 feet, we have blue tape on our trays. Our first loop stops at the blue tape. And then we feed the hose back. And this hose on the first 100 feet goes all the way to the back. We stop short for the first one, just so we can pull off of both sides. Let's pull a little bit, Rose. There we go. So just like on the front, we stop short, and then the second loop goes to the end of the tray. We don't hang anything outside of the tray because we have roll-up doors and we cannot close the door if there's hose hanging out. So second loop on that side as well, we go to the end of the tray. Third loop stops to the blue tape. Same on the other side. Coupling. And then the fourth loop, again, it's to the end of the tray. So if you're looking at the loops, on both sides we should have this exact same thing. 1 is short, 2 is to the end, 3 is short, 4 is to the end. The reason for that is when we pull those loops out of the truck, that first section is called the dump section. That's to clear the bed of the truck. Second section is the mid-bite section. So that's the midpoint-ish on that first 100 feet. So it helps prevent kinks and snags when you're pulling the hose. So then the rest of the loops until this first 100 feet is done, they all go short to the blue line on both sides. So you just keep going short until the hose is out. And then we just throw the coupling outside because this will connect to the shoulder load section after we load that second 100 feet. It'll connect at the top. That's it for the first 100. Okay, now we're on to the second half of our hose load. So this is the shoulder load section. Our first 100 feet is in the tray, and now we lay our second 100 feet out on the ground. We lay it down to look like an M or a W, whichever way you're facing. But if you could see, what we want when we have it laid out is we want all couplings at the top. I always have it set up, if I'm on this side, I want the nozzle side on my left leg. If I have it opposite and it's on my right side, if I'm on, if I'm standing on the other side of the bundle, we'll have to flip the whole bundle over at the end, just the way the straps go when we set it down to deploy it. It has to be on this side. So everybody that's reloading this, start with the nozzle on your left leg. That'll work a lot better. Okay, I'm gonna have Rouse grab the center of each of these hoses. It's marked with a blue piece of tape, and he's just gonna walk up and lay them down in between our couplings. So now we have a lot more loops. And then the next phase of it is just gonna grab the 2 again, and he's gonna walk these up. So if you watch, he's just going to walk these 2 loops up and set them in between. Kind of looks messy for a minute, but it gets cleaned up pretty easy. And then he's going to do the same with the other 2 loops. It's easier when we have a lot more space if we're laid out after a fire in the middle of the street, but in between 2 trucks, they're a little bit limited. So, okay, so now we have what is a 6-foot shoulder load. So these loops are roughly 6 feet. We want our shoulder load to be roughly 6 feet. So when we're gonna set this up, it takes 2 people. Again, I want the nozzle on my left leg, and we're gonna be have the front. So we want couplings and blue tape always at the front. So we'll have this, and the guy in the back, we're just gonna be twisting to make sure that this lays out perfectly. So blue tape in the front, And I'll explain why the nozzle's up there in a second. We're twisting this. Coupling in the front. We kind of keep in the front pretty much even. The back doesn't matter as much. So once we get all this done, okay, so we get all that done. And then this nozzle, we're going to flip up top. And that is going to go inside. That's going to go inside our first Velcro strap. The reason we have it done this way, is we want the Velcro straps to be on our side when we lay it down. Think about it, if we're deploying this hose, we lay it down on the ground, we want to be able to pull the tabs of the Velcro straps right here. If we put it on the other way, the Velcro straps would actually be underneath the bundle, and we don't want that. So we're going to capture this nozzle in the first strap. Make sure it's nice and tight. So when this is deployed, easy just to pull that down. This one does not get captured in the first strap. Then we have one more. Nice tight bundle. The reason we're putting this nozzle at the top is because we've had some issues with pulling it off, deploying this off both sides of the truck. When we're trying to pull it from the opposite side, the nozzle's getting stuck. So we've thought of a way to make sure that the nozzle doesn't get stuck. If we put it on top, it'll easily slide from both ends of the tray. So after we do that, we just pick it up. We set it down. And there, and we take these two like we were showing you earlier, and we connect these at the top. There you go. And that's the hose load.